Welcome to this week's tarot tutorial where I break down the hidden messages and meaning of the tarot one card at a time in a very simple bite-sized way. These videos are designed for you to participate and actively learn tarot, creating a keepsake reference book by the very end of the series. I'm Heather, and whether this is your first time visiting my channel or you are a longtime subscriber, thank you for joining the pack. In today's video, we are going to be breaking down the symbolism and interpretation of the world. If you find value in today's video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and it tells me what kind of content you want to see more of. Now let's jump right into our learning all about the world. Get out your glue stick, get out your card, and it is time to attach it to the page. If you are following along with this series, please comment below and let me know how it's going. You could even take pictures and post pictures of your book, and show everyone your creativity and your design. For those who are really creative, you could even be drawing your own images of the cards as you go. Okay, and I'm going to use a lighter blue pen today. Okay, so we're going to start. I'm just going to turn this here. Can I see it up there? Okay, I'll move it down as I'm writing, but I went and glued the card to the very bottom of the page here. Okay, so when we look at the world card, what we see here is there is a figure here that is in the center of the card. The figure is naked but draped in this flag or banner, and it makes me always think of the child from our sun card now grown up, right? And now that banner is now draped around them. This individual is holding two wands. They are surrounded by this wreath, and there's red ribbons on it. In some cases, this isn't a wreath, but this is Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. And I will explain that as well, in case you happen to have a card that looks like that. In the background, you see very nice bright blue skies, and in each corner there is a figure. So we have some people say this is a human, but I'm saying an angel. We have the eagle, we have the lion and the bull, and this is reminiscent of the four figures that were in the Wheel of Fortune card. It's funny how things come around. So we will go into those as well. So we're going to start though with this figure that is in the center of the card, because this is the central thing. This is the one thing that you really notice in the card, is the central figure. So I'm going to put figure in center. Okay. So the figure in the center is often portrayed as a dancer. This represents completion, harmony, and the unity of opposites. This figure embodies the idea of fulfillment and the achievement of a higher state of being. This is a completion of a cycle, achievement of goals, and the celebration of success. So the figure in the center, this is fulfillment, achievement, and completion of a cycle, goals, and celebration of success. Okay. And then the next thing that we're going to look at is this banner or ribbon that is wrapped and draped around the figure. So the banner ribbon that's draped around the figure represents fluidity and the seamless movement through the different phases of life. It represents the beauty of balanced motion and the harmonious flow of energy. So I'm going to just put banner ribbon. So again, this represents fluidity, movement through phases of life, um, balanced motion, and harmonious flow of energy. Okay, and now we're going to look at the wreath. So the wreath that is surrounding the figure symbolizes the completion of a cycle, victory, the achievement of a goal, and the recognition of one's accomplishments. The green wreath also symbolizes growth, while the red ribbons represent celebration and vitality. Together, they suggest that this is a time of growth, or that the time of growth has reached its peak and is now ready to be celebrated. If the card depicts an Ouroboros rather than the wreath, so this is the snake that's eating its tail, then that will represent the cycle of life and rebirth. The end of a cycle has come to successful completion, but soon a new beginning will be dawning. So I'm going to write both of them here. I'm going to put green wreath, red ribbon. And then over here, I'm going to put the Ouroboros. Oops. Oops. Okay. So again, the green wreath, this is going to represent growth. And then the ribbon represents celebration and vitality. So what I wrote here was growth, celebration, vitality. So again, growth has peaked. Time to celebrate, like celebrating the completion. Now the Ouroboros here, this is represents cycle of life and death or rebirth. So successful completion and new beginning starting soon. Okay. And then we're going to look at the blue background. So this blue background represents spirituality, the subconscious, and the infinite possibilities of the universe. So when one is connected to their higher self, the potential for growth and potential becomes limitless. So blue background and spirituality, subconscious, and unlimited potential for growth when spiritually aligned. Okay. And then we got the four creatures. So I'm just going to write four creatures. So we have the angel, we have the eagle, we have the bull, and we have the lion. So these are the same four creatures that we saw in the Wheel of Fortune, and they represent the elements. So this is fire, water, earth, and air. They represent Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, and Aquarius. The eagle will represent The eagle represents water, it's emotion, intuition, and scorpionic energy. The lion represents fire, passion, action, that's Leo. And then the bull represents earth, materiality, that's Taurus. And then finally, we have the angel that represents wisdom and intellect, mental clarity, and that's Aquarius. Together, they represent the four cardinal points, the four fixed signs in the zodiac, and the completeness and integration of all aspects of life. So I'm going to start there and say four fixed cardinal points, zodiac, and completeness, integration of all aspects of life, and then four elements. And then I'm just going to put Leo, fire, and that would be passion as well. And then we have Taurus, earth, and that is materiality, like the actual physicality of life. And then we have the eagle, which is, I did that wrong, sorry. We have Scorpio, which is represented by the eagle, and that is the water, and that is also like the subconscious mind, the intuition, and emotions. So I'm going to put emotions, the emotional body. And then finally we have the angel, that is Aquarius, angel, mind, intellect. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to get into the numerology, and this is the number 21. So for the world card, it is number 21. And this represents completion. This is the number of completion, wholeness, and enlightenment. It signifies the culmination of a long journey and the beginning of a new chapter. So culmination, wholeness, enlightenment, and completion of journey and beginning of new chapter. Okay. Okay. And then when we have the astrology, this is Saturn. This is linked to Saturn, and Saturn represents structure, discipline, and the cycles of life. And it is really through that structure and discipline that you have navigated a significant life lesson or chapter in your life and have successfully completed it in order to close off that chapter and then hence begin the next cycle. So Saturn. And this is structure, discipline, and cycles of life. Okay, and now we're going to be getting into the interpretation of the world card. So I'm going to just write that up here. And I'm going to move my book down. I'll pull it back up right at the very end so you can see it. So with the interpretation of the World card, this represents a completion of a journey, the realization of goals, and the harmonious integration of all parts of the self. It signifies the achievement of a state of balance, unity, and fulfillment. This card indicates that a cycle has come to its natural end and you are now ready to move on to a new phase. It is the card of wholeness and spiritual enlightenment, indicating that you have reached a place of inner peace and completion. In a career reading, the world indicates or represents a possible relocation or travel for employment, but ultimately a rewarding career and that has continuous advancements and achievements. In a relationship reading, when you see the World card, it represents a harmonious long-term love partnership or a relationship with someone from a different culture, background, or country. In a health reading, when you see the World card, this indicates good health or that you are quickly overcoming a health issue. So again, interpretation, this is completion of a journey. Life lesson, challenge, or life chapter. Um, Realization of goals, integration of all parts of the self. Balance, unity, fulfillment, and cycle coming to natural end and ready to move on to next phase slash chapter. Okay. And then when we look at the reversed interpretation, so when you see the World card reversed in a reading, this can indicate that the person, it is still a positive card even when it's reversed. So what it means is it can indicate that the person has achieved the highest level of achievement based on the subject matter of their question. So if someone is coming to you with a career reading, then they have achieved the highest level of achievement in their career at the place that they are working at now. So that's what I mean by the highest level of achievement based on subject matter. It also indicates that you will be successful and achieve your objectives or goals after overcoming some kind of challenge. So it still has this air of achievement and of successful completion. But when it's reversed, you may have to overcome some challenges in order to successfully complete it. So, and you're in that process or stage of overcoming those challenges. So reversed, this indicates achieved highest level of achievement. Um, and it can also indicate future success once challenges have been overcome. Here we go. Okay. And there you have it. That is our World card. Thank you so much for joining me today on your path of learning. Join me next week when we dive into the Ace of Pentacles. Yes, we have finally wrapped up and finished with our Major Arcana, and next week we are going into our Minor Arcana cards. If you found today's video informative, fun, or both, please like, share, subscribe, and check out my free monthly and weekly tarot readings. Have a fantastic week.